हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू स्कोर इन इंग्लिश। आज हम शेक्सपियर की लॉन्ग नरेटिव पोएम द रेप ऑफ लुक्रे को एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रिवाइज करेंगे। मैंने इस वीडियो में पोएम से रिलेटेड 70 इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस कवर किए हैं जो कि एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं। अगर आप टीजीटी पीजीटी एग्ज़ाम या किसी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर एग्ज़ाम की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो ये वीडियो आपके लिए काफ़ी हेल्पफुल होने वाली है। और हाँ, इन 70 क्वेश्चंस को अच्छे से कर लीजिए। इस टॉपिक से क्वेश्चन आपके एग्ज़ाम में मिस नहीं होने चाहिए। सो बिना टाइम वेस्ट किए लेट्स स्टार्ट विद आवर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन। When was the Rape of Lucrece published? 1594. What was Shakespeare's first narrative poem published a year earlier? Venus and Adonis, 1593. Third, what did Shakespeare promise in the dedication to Venus and Adonis that Lucrece fulfills? A graver labor. Fourth question है, to whom is the Rape of Lucrece dedicated? Henry Worsley, Earl of Southampton. Fifth, how many lines does the Rape of Lucrece contain? 1855 lines. 6. How many stanzas does the poem have? 265 stanzas of 7 lines each. 7. What is the stanza form of the Rape of Lucrece? Rhyme royal, AB, AB, BCC. 8. What meter is used in the poem? Iambic pentameter. 9. What prose section precedes the poem? The argument, a prose summary of historical context. 10. What source did Shakespeare used for poem? Life history of Rome, Ovid's, Chaucer, and contemporary English writers. 11. What historical period does the poem depicts? 509 BC during the siege of Ardea. 12. What major historical event does the poem lead to? The overthrow of the Roman monarchy and the founding of the Roman Republic. 13. Who is the protagonist of the poem? Lucreta, a virtuous Roman wife. 14. Who is Collatine? Lucrece's husband, a Roman general. 15. Who is Sextus Tarquin? The son of the king of Rome and the rapist of Lucrece. 16. Who is the king of Rome at that time? Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, Tarquinius the Proud. 17. Who is Junius Brutus? A nobleman who spares Venetians and leads the revolution against the Tarquins. 18. Who is Lucius Junius Brutus? Historically, a nephew of the king who led the revolt and became one of the first consul of the Roman Republic. 19. What is Lucrece's defining characteristics? Her chastity and devotion to her husband. 20. How does Tarquin learn of Lucrece's virtue? Collatine boast of her chastity to the other soldier. 21st. What does Tarquin's state refers to the poem? Both his royal rank and his psychological condition. Who is Lucrece's father? He is mentioned but not named. He comes to Collatine with Brutus. 24. What does the maid say to Lucrece about her condition? Answer. She asks, what feverish hectic flame burns in thy child? 25. How is Lucrece's glove with needle described before the rape? Answer. It shows her innocent domestic activity before the attack. 26. What is the Setting of the poem's opening. Answer: the Romans' camp of Ardea, where a siege is underway. 27. What does Collatine do that sets the tragedy in motion? He boasts of his wife Lucre's chastity. 28. What tests do the soldiers conduct? Answer: they secretly return to Rome to observe their wives. 29. What is Lucre 29. What is Lucre doing when the soldiers arrive? Answer: spinning with her maids at night. 30. What does Tarquin do after hearing Collatine's praise? He becomes inflamed with lust and returned to Collatine. 31. How is Tarquin received by Lucre? As a trusted guest, she welcomed him royally. 32. What internal conflict does Tarquin experience? Answer: his desire struggle with his conscience and sense of humor. 33. How does Tarquin carry out the rape? Answer: he enters her chamber at night, gags her with her nightgown, and rape her. 34. What threat does Tarquin use to silence Lucre? He threatens to kill her and a slave and claim that he caught them in adultery. 35. What does Lucre do immediately after the rape? She grieves, feels intense shame, and contemplates suicide. 36. Who does Lucre summons to Colatium? Answer: her father and her husband Collatine. 36. 37. Who comes with Collatine? Answer: Junius Brutus and Publius Valerius. 38. Who does Lucrece demand from the man before revealing the rapist? Answer: they must swear on oath to revenge her. 39. How does Lucre die? She stabs herself with a knife. 40. What do the Romans do after Lucre's death? They carry her body through the street, incite rebellion, and banish the Tarquins. 41. What is the central theme of the poem? Answer: the tragic consequences of sexual violence and the abuse of power. 42. How does the poem connect rape to politics? Answer: Tarquin's personal crime reflect and causes political tyranny. Lucre's death lead to the founding of the republic. 43. What is the theme of honor and reputation? Answer: Lucre's fear dishonor despite being innocent, feeling shame even after forced violence. 44. What role does shame play in the poem? It drives Lucrece's decision to commit suicide. 45. What is the theme of mind versus body? Lucrece's chaste mind remains pure, but she cannot separate it from her violated body. 46. How does the poem treat the theme of justice? Answer: true justice comes through collective action by the people. 47. What role does storytelling play in the poem? Answer: the poem shows how stories can incite political action. 48. How does the poem explore the theme of desire? Answer: Tarquin's is desire driven by uncontrollable lust that overrides reason and morality. 49. What is the theme of the gaze in the poem? Collatine boosting makes Lucrece an object of others' desire. 50. What does the poem say about rhetoric and power? Lucrece uses powerful rhetoric to argue for her cause but ultimately cannot save herself. 51. What is the famous imagery of the wolf and lamb describing the rape? Answer. It depicts Lucrece as the helpless lamb and Tarquin as the predatory wolf. 52. What does Lucrece say about kingly rule before the rape? Answer. She argues that kings should rule by love, not fear. 53. What does Lucrece say about her guilt? Answer. May my pure mind with the foul act dispense. She questions her guilt after the rape. 54. What does Lucrece say about teaching through her death? Answer. How Tarquin must be used, read it in me. She uses her death as a political example. What does Tarquin feels after the death? Revolution and shame slunk away. 56. What does the famous lines from Brutus' oath? Answer. We will revenge the death of his true wife. 57. What does the opening line of the argument say? Answer. It introduces Lucius Tarquinius for his excessive pride, surnamed Superbus. 58. What does Lucrece say about fear and love? His This deed will make thy only loved for fear. 59. What does Lucrece say to Tarquin about being a king? Thou seem not what thou art, a king. 60. What is the final image of the poem? Answer. The Tarquin's everlasting banishment. 61. What did early church fathers Ambrose and Augustine say about Lucrece? Answer. They criticize her suicide, arguing that if she was forced, she remained innocent. 62. What does Catherine Basley argue about the poem? Answer. She argued that if offers no sympathy whatever with rape and focuses on the psychological aftermath. 63. What is unique about Shakespeare's treatment of rape of the poem? Answer. He spends more time on the before and after psychology than on the act itself. 64. How does the poem treat the theme of body and mind? Answer. It argues that mind and body are not separable. Lucrece's body is dishonored despite her chaste mind. 65. What is the significance of the Ichthyosis painting of Troy? Lucrece identifies with Hebuka's suffering. 66. How does the poem differ from Life's original? Shakespeare adds extended interior monologues and psychological depth. 67. What does one critic call the poem? Answer. A great human tragedy. 68. What did Patrick Cheney say about poem? Answer. He liked non-consensual sex with a tyrannical regime. 69. How has the poem been viewed by modern feminist critics? Answer. As addressing sexual trauma, gender pressure, and the female voice. 70. What is the speaker's role in the poem? Answer. He gradually identifies with Lucrece, transferring his elegance from टार्क्विन्स। अगर आपको लगता है कि ये सारे क्वेश्चंस एक बार में याद नहीं होंगे तो कई बार इन्हें सुनिए और वीडियो को रिपीट करके देखिए। ये 70 क्वेश्चन आपके आने वाले टीजीटी पीजीटी एग्ज़ाम के लिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं, तो इसलिए इनको बार बार रिवाइज करते रहिए। अगर आपको वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगी हो तो इसे लाइक, सब्सक्राइब और शेयर करना ना भूलें। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।